This message came into my heart this week, and I'm going to cut it real short. I don't want to spend a lot of time on the reason, but I was sitting in Kelsey-Seybold this past week waiting for Theola to finish some of her tests, and there was a man sitting not far from me, and some of the workers there know me, and they usually say Mr. Booker, but they said Reverend Booker. And since this gentleman heard my name, Reverend Booker, he was having some issues in his life, and he came over and wanted to discuss them with me, and he was about to give up on his life, and we talked and read and gave him some scriptures, and he's been on my heart. I may not see him again, but I certainly prayed for him. And you can pray also from the little that you heard from me, God will give, because there's a lot of people who he felt like he was a failure. He started off good and everything in college and many things, and he flunked one grade, and he just got mad and didn't go back. Just so many issues in his life. He never tried to redeem anything. And this message and messages are to come from life situation. And I want to preach this sermon today because of my time I spent with that man at Kelsey-Seybold. And maybe something out of this message would help some of us, because I can't read your mind, but I know everything is not well with everybody. I don't wish it on everybody, but sometimes we're just not where we want to be. And life is not giving us what we need. But if you would just turn to St. Luke chapter 22. St. Luke chapter 22. And the Lord said, Simon, Simon, behold, Satan has desired to have you, that he may sift you as wheat. But I have prayed for thee, that thy faith fail not. And when thou art converted, and when you get your act together, when you get straight, I want you to go strengthen your brother. I'm praying for you. You're messing up now. You're a failure. But I want you to know I'm praying for you. But when you bounce back, when you get your act together, I want you to go and strengthen your brother. I try to encourage that man that he can turn failure into success. And I'd like to talk to you this morning very briefly from the subject bouncing back. Getting back, bouncing back. And that led me to Walmart last night to get a ball. Man. And I'm sorry that we wasn't on sale. Bouncing back. Donnie McClurkin said, we fall down, but we get up. Jesus can help us. But one thing is, I take my seat. Pratt, let me tell you, his story didn't end at verse 62. Because if his story had ended, James, in verse 62, Melanie, it would not have been any purpose for me to preach to you. But that's not the end of Peter's story. One day, Peter went fishing. Come on, Bible study. Come on, Sunday school folk. He went fishing, and he couldn't catch anything. And the Lord said, Peter, just cast your net on the other side. He caught a lot of fish. Y'all act like you know what I'm talking about, but I don't want to turn it in the Bible. And Peter got so depressed that he went fishing. And Jesus brought them back to the banks. And they began to eat fish. And Jesus said, Peter, do you love me? Peter said, yes, Lord, I love you. Feed my lamb. And then he asked Peter again, Peter, do you love me? Peter said, yes, Lord. He said, feed my sheep. Now, Peter was the wrong person to keep asking the same question to, because he asked him a third time. Y'all need to read that. Peter had an attitude and said, now, Lord, you done asked me 2 times. I'm just sick and tired of this. That's Booker, little Booker. But he said, Lord, you know I love you. He said, since you love me, I don't care how you talk to me. feed my sheep. When you be converted, help somebody else. And that ain't the end of Peter's story. Peter, when Peter fell, after Peter got up, the Bible says he started preaching, and he held a one-day service. The man that fell got up. Since he got up, the Bible says 3,000 souls were saved. Not 30, not 300. 3,000 souls were saved. Won't God do it for you? If you fall down and he'll get you up, everything will be all right. I've never seen the righteous forsaken or his seed beg for bread.